Dear all, a very good evening to all of you. I, Advocate Achal Srivastav, on behalf of our TAXO team, welcome all our attendees today to our 29th live session of TAXO Prime Time. As you all must be aware, TAXO Prime Time is a weekly webinar session on analysis of the latest judgments, important developments in GST, and unfolding complex topics simple. In today's session, we will have with us CA Anmol Gupta ji, an indirect tax expert having vast experience in tax litigation. Sir will give you all a detailed analysis of recent judgments under indirect tax. So, without taking much time, I would now like to welcome Anmol sir and request him to enlighten us on today's topic. Sir, I request you to please take the session forward.
Thank you, Achal. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. At the outset, I would like to thank Team TAXO for giving me this opportunity to come again before you and discuss the recent judgments or the developments in the world of indirect taxes, particularly GST. I also welcome you all to this beautiful evening on Friday. We are going to discuss, the topic for today's discussion is recent judgments under GST, where I'm going to discuss one of the recent circular that has been pronounced in a very important circular, which explains, which clarifies some of the doubts, some of the litigations that was prevailing in the erstwhile regime as well as the current regime. So without taking any time, the topic for today's discussion is recent judgments under indirect tax, and as I told, I'll be discussing one circular in this topic also. So I bifurcated today's discussion into 5 major topics. One where I will be going to discuss a very recent judgment. It is a very vague, I would say, case, wherein there was a detention of goods with the allegation that the goods are being sold on per piece basis and not as per the weight. So, for example, I'm selling any commodity, wherein I am selling the commodity on the basis of per piece and not as per the weight of that commodity. So goods were intercepted and detention was there. So we are going to understand what the court has said and what was the ruling in that particular case. Second is a very important topic these days. It is a very important judgment that has been pronounced recently by the Honorable High Court. This topic talks about the cases wherein the registration has been cancelled by the department and subsequently SSC wins the matter because the registration was done on a wrong premise, and therefore now the SSC wants to file its pending GST returns, but he is prompted to file it with the late fee. So what will happen to the late fee in case where the registration has been cancelled because of the default of the revenue and not of the default of the SSC? The third point that we are going to discuss is the bill to ship to transaction, wherein if the GST number is not mentioned on the e-way bill, GST number of the person who is going to receive the goods, the person to whom goods are being shipped, in case of bill to ship to transactions, we are going to discuss what are the consequences. The fourth topic that we are going to discuss, in my previous prime time sessions, I've explained what exactly is show cause notice and what exactly is the order and what is the differentiation between the two. So we are going to discuss a judgment wherein a show cause notice was issued, wherein the language of the show cause notice was in the shape of an order. That is, the judgment was itself passed in the show cause notice, and therefore such show cause notice was set aside. We are going to discuss that. And the fifth topic that I told you, that we are going to discuss a recent circular which is on refund by unregistered persons. So if Anmol Gupta, as an unregistered person, individual capacity, wants to claim refund of any taxes paid to the service provider, how he can do so, we are going to discuss the latest circular. Moving forward with the first topic. The first topic talks about the detention in case where the goods are sold on per piece basis and not as per the weight. So the name of the judgment is Ganpati Battery Traders versus State of UP. It is a judgment of Honorable Allahabad High Court pronounced recently on 6th of December 2022, a month back only. The facts of the case were that the petitioner was engaged in the business of sale and purchase of old batteries. So he used to purchase the old batteries and sell it out exactly in the same form. So he was basically a trader of old batteries. So he was moving a consignment wherein it was intercepted in between, and Section 129 was invoked to detain the consignment as well as the vehicle through which that consignment was in movement. And the order was passed determining tax and penalty merely on the premises that the goods that are being sold by Ganpati battery traders are sold on per piece basis and not according to the weight of the battery. So let's say the 10 batteries are being moved in the consignment. So he was selling the batteries on per piece basis. For example, one battery is sold at the rate of 1000 rupees. So the invoice carried a value of 10,000, 1000 per piece, and 10 pieces were being moved, and therefore the invoice was made as equal to rupees 10,000. However, the department was of the view that no, you should have sold the batteries on the basis of the weight that battery carry. So, for example, every battery carries a weight of 10 kg. So, you should have sold the battery as per the weight and not as per the piece. So, after hearing these things, you might think that this is a very vague assertion. Yes, even after reading this judgment, I was also thinking that this is a very vague assertion. This is not mentioned anywhere in the law that the assessee is bound to quantify his outward supplies as per the unit of quantity generally used. So this order was passed under Section 129. It was appealed to the First Appellate Authority, and it was again confirmed by the First Appellate Authority, the demand and penalty. So the issue was approached to the Honorable High Court by way of a writ. Here, the revenue argued that petitioner was trying to evade payment of taxes, and the battery was sold in terms of per piece and not according to weight. So the revenue said that by merely not selling the battery as per the weight and selling it as per the per piece model, you are evading payment of taxes. And for that, they relied upon Rule 46. So Rule 46, what does it say? Rule 46 says what should be the ingredients of a tax invoice. Now, coming to what exactly was held by the Honorable Allahabad High Court. Allahabad High Court said here it is very important to understand that the petitioner brought this on record that they are purchasing as well as selling batteries on per piece basis. They are not doing like that ki they are purchasing the batteries on according to the weight of the battery and selling the batteries as per on per piece basis. They are doing both purchasing and selling on per piece basis. Now, what is held by the Honorable Allahabad High Court? They said that both adjudicating authority and appellate authority have not brought anything on record. They have not given any observation or any finding which states that trade practice is to purchase and sell the old batteries as per weight and not as per piece. So whatever the revenue was alleging, whatever they were raising an allegation against the Ganpati battery traders, they have not brought anything on record to prove that the trade practice is like that only. That they have to, the Ganpati battery traders was obliged as per the trade practice to sell their batteries on the basis of weight it carries and not by per piece basis. Further, the Rule 46 that was relied upon by the revenue was considered by the Honorable Allahabad High Court, and it was stated that the description which the seller is giving, Rule 46 says that you have to only mention the description which the seller description of the goods which the seller is selling, and not, you don't have to write, there is no mandate given in Rule 46 regarding the unit of quantity that you have to use. So Rule 46 nowhere states that batteries have to be sold on quantity basis, the per kg basis or per ton basis. There is no such mandate. The only mandate that has been stipulated in Rule 46 is to give the correct description of the goods that have been sold. And therefore, with these findings, it was held by the Honorable High Court that the detention proceedings are wrong in nature and have been carried out in a vague manner. So from this judgment, what we have understood is that wherever, if there is any similar case anywhere in India wherein the department is alleging, while intercepting the goods, the department is alleging that you should have quantified your supplies on a different parameter. You have quantified on the basis of, let's say, you have quantified on per piece, but we are saying that you should have quantified it on a different parameter by weight or any other parameter. Then we can quote this judgment of Ganpati Battery Traders by Honorable Allahabad High Court, wherein it has been categorically stated by Honorable Allahabad High Court that there is no mandate in the law, and the trade practice is generally, whatever the trade practice is there, it has to be followed in the case also. Now, coming to the second judgment of the day, the second topic talks about non-mentioning of GST of the person to whom the goods are being shipped in case of bill to ship to transaction. So the moot question arises here for those participants who do not know that what is bill to ship to transaction. So in a bill to ship to transaction, what generally happens is Anmol has billed its sale to, let's say, Vinodji, and now while moving the goods from Anmol's godown to Vinodji's godown, Vinodji has asked that you directly ship it to my customer whom I have also sold these particular goods on my behalf, and don't sell it to me directly. So the diagram also states that A has taken an order from B to ship it to B. However, the B has already sold those goods to C, and B has requested A to directly ship it to C instead of bringing it to his premises first and then shipping it to C. So in this case, A is billing to B. However, it is shipping the goods to C. So in this case, we are going to discuss a recent judgment of DCM Shriram Limited versus State Tax Officer. It was pronounced by Honorable Madras High Court on 4th of November 2022. What are the facts of the case? The facts of the case says that petitioner entered into a bill to ship to transaction in terms of which the invoice reflects the consignee as B. However, the goods have to be moved for the logistical purposes. The goods have to be moved to C. Now, the goods were intercepted in between and detained. The notice was issued proposing tax and penalty on the premise that ship to address, that is the address of the C, is that of an unregistered person. So in this case, the e-way bill, as you all must be knowing, those who practice e-way bill regularly, they know that in the ship to details, we only give the address of the person to whom the goods are being shipped, the address of C in my example. So they have also, DCM Shriram also did the same. However, it was the contention of the revenue that you have mentioned the address of the ship to person as unregistered person. It was replied by DCM Shriram that, sir, since this is a bill to ship to transaction, I have my mandate as per the law is only to disclose the registration details of the consignee, that is B in my example. So I have to disclose A has to disclose the registration details of only B and not C. So as per the law, they have disclosed the transaction, the details of B and not C. Further going forward, the order was passed wherein the tax and penalty was confirmed, saying that ship to address is that of unregistered person in GST and not mentioned on invoice. So from these facts, what we have understood is that the contention of the proper officer was that you should have mentioned the GST number of the person to whom you are shipping also. So apart from mentioning the GST details of the person to whom the invoice has been billed, you should have mentioned the details of the person to whom the goods are being moved, the goods are being shipped. So now, what is held by Honorable Madras High Court? The Honorable Madras High Court, after perusal of invoices and e-way bill in this particular matter, stated that the petitioner has disclosed full particulars of the purchaser in my example being B, including the GST particulars, address and PAN number. And this fulfills the condition of section 46, the rule 46. Revenue has lost sight of bill to ship model. It was observed by Honorable Madras High Court that revenue, while alleging that you have not mentioned the GST details of the person to whom the material is being shipped, they have held that revenue did not consider that this particular transaction is a bill to ship to model, and thereafter they refer to FAQs released by CBIC only, and on the basis of FAQs the order was set aside. Now a question is there that, sir, what are the FAQs? What does the FAQ say? So, sir, FAQ, there is a FAQ released by CBIC which says how to handle bill to ship to transaction in e-way bill system. It states, sometimes the taxpayer raises the bill to somebody and sends the consignment to somebody else as per the business requirements. There is a provision in the e-way bill system to handle this situation called as bill to ship to. So the FAQ of CBIC understands that there is a modus operandi wherein whenever I'm engaged in a supply, there may be certain cases that I've been asked by my purchaser to directly ship those supplies to somewhere else, to maybe his customer, to some other place. So that particular transaction has been acknowledged in the GST law as bill to ship to transaction. In the e-way bill form, there are two portions under two section. In the left hand side, billing to GSTN and trade name is entered, and in the right hand side, ship to address of the destination of the movement is entered. The other details are entered as per invoice. So this particular para is very important, based on which the Honorable High Court has set aside the order in the case of DCM Shriram, Madras High Court. This particular para categorically states that in this section of bill to in e-way bill, you have to mention the GSTN and trade name of the person to whom you are billing the supplies. That is B in my example. And in the right hand side, that is the ship to column, you have to merely mention the address on which the goods are being moved. So for this B, I have to mention the GST details of B, and for the C, I have to mention merely the address of the C. I am under no obligation as per the law to give the GST details of the C also. Now, the last pair of this FAQ states that if the this concerns the place of supply, so it states that if the A and B are in different state, then in the invoice as well as e-way bill, you have to enter IGST, and if the A and B are in the same state, then you have to levy CGST and SGST. So, coming forward to the third topic for the day. The third topic talks about a very, very popular case scenario in today's era. I believe every one of us have faced this particular issue, wherein I'll give you an example. The GST registration is cancelled by the department on a wrong premise. I have challenged that premise and I have succeeded in the litigation. My GST registration has been restored by categorically stating that the GST registration has been cancelled on a wrong premise. Now, since my registration was cancelled, I was unable to file GST returns. Now my registration has been restored, and now I attempt to file my pending returns. Now, while filing the pending returns, I encounter a case wherein the system prompts me by saying that you have to pay late fee of rupees 5,000 per return. Now the question arises, our client comes to us and asks us that, sir, this was not my default. This late filing of return is not my default. My registration was cancelled on a wrong premise by the department. I have won the litigation. The appellate authority or the High Court has categorically stated that the department has wrongly cancelled my registration. Now, when I'm filing the return in due compliance of the law, why should I be made liable for the revenues defaults that they have wrongly cancelled my GST registration? So, similar case was faced before the Honorable Calcutta High Court in the matter of Modicum Enterprises OPC Private Limited versus Deputy Commissioner of State Tax and others. There is a recent judgment pronounced on 22nd of December 2022, where the facts of the case were that the registration of the petitioner was cancelled on the ground that petitioner is a non-existing dealer. First appeal was filed, documents were submitted, and first appellate authority allowed the appeal of the petitioner, stating that petitioner is a fully functional entity. They are existent, and the cancellation has been made on a wrong premise that they are non-existing dealer. Therefore, the registration was restored. Petitioner attempted to file the returns, but as per section 47, which states the late fee for filing GST returns, he was prompted to pay rupees 5,000 per return. The assessee approached Honorable Calcutta High Court, Jurisdictional High Court, and Honorable Calcutta High Court took cognizance of Section 47 and stated that because the GST registration was cancelled because of the default of the revenue and not because of the default of the assessee, the registration was cancelled on a completely wrong premise that the assessee is non-existent, wherein the first appellate authority has categorically stated that the assessee is existent. Therefore, the petitioner should not be penalized for the default of the revenue, and Section 47 is not attracted, and therefore the late fee was waived, and the directions was issued to the revenue to allow the assessee to file the returns without paying any late fee. So till now we have discussed 3 cases. Coming back to the index, a small sum up. The first case that we have discussed is the matter wherein the detention proceedings were initiated because the goods were being sold on per piece basis and not as per the weight. It was held by the Honorable High Court that the trade practice is to sell the product, the batteries, as per the per piece basis and not as per the weight, and therefore the assessee was right in his approach and there is no evasion of taxes, and therefore the detention proceedings were set aside. The second topic that we discussed today was that the late fee cannot be charged when registration. So we discussed this in the third topic, that whenever a registration is wrongly cancelled by the department on a factually incorrect premise, it has been stated by Honorable Calcutta High Court that assessee should not be made to suffer, should not be penalized because of the revenues default of wrongly cancelling the registration of the petitioner, and therefore the late fee under Section 47 was waived off by Honorable Calcutta High Court. And the second topic that we discussed till now was that the non-mentioning of GST of the person to whom I am shipping the goods, not billing, but the shipping the goods in a bill to ship to transaction does not amount to any evasion, does not amount to any violation. As per the FAQs, that is the correct methodology adopted by the assessee, and therefore the detention cannot survive in this case. Now we are moving forward to the fourth topic for the day, a very small topic, which states that whenever a show cause notice is issued in the form of an order, it has to be set aside by the Honorable High Court using writ jurisdiction under Article 226. So before discussing this judgment, this is a very short judgment. Before discussing this judgment, I would like to discuss the brief background about this judgment. So what exactly is a show cause notice under GST law? So as per the principles of natural justice, it is stated that whenever any wrong action, adverse action is to be taken against an assessee, the assessee has to be informed about the same in writing with giving the proper reasons that why we are going to take an adverse action against you, and seeking his submissions that why it should not be taken against you. Do you think that we are taking the correct action, or as per you the action is wrong? If wrong, give us the detailed reasons. So for that particular reason, for complying with the principles of natural justice, a show cause notice is issued under any law. So under any law, if an adverse action is to be taken against the assessee, a show cause notice is served. So similarly in GST, there is a provision under Section 73 and 74, which states that first you have to issue a show cause notice if you want to seek recovery of any demand or you want to take any adverse action against the assessee. So whenever a show cause notice is served, it has to be made in a language that it states the action that is about to be taken, the intent of the department, and against such SCN, the assessee has to file reply to such show cause notice, stating that why so and so demand is not accruable, so and so ITC should not be reversed, so and so refund should not be rejected, and likewise. And after considering such reply, you have to pass a speaking order stating why such reply should not be considered, why such reply is wrong, and why the demand is being confirmed in case the demand is being confirmed. So in the matter of Joyous Blocks and Panels Private Limited versus other than Assistant Commissioner Taxes and others, there was a issue that arose before the Honorable Calcutta High Court, decided on 21st of December 2022, wherein the SCN that was issued to the petitioner was drafted in a way that the authority has pre-decided the issue. They have premeditated what they are going to do, and the SCN is practically serving no useful purpose. So why I am discussing this judgment? Because in case any of the client, any of the taxpayer receives any such show cause notice wherein the wordings of such show cause notice is formed in a way that it shows that whatever action they are going to take, they are going to take, irrespective of whatever reply you file. So they have a pre-decided mind, they have a pre-decided issue, and whatever they are giving you is just a formality of law. So in another judgment of Mumbai High Court, in the matter of Reliance itself, there was a show cause notice issued as per the internal guidelines, and therefore the the SCN was challenged before the Honorable Mumbai High Court, in which the Reliance said that, sir, whatever SCN you have issued is already decided by you in your internal guidelines. So whatever reply I am going to give, since those guidelines are binding upon the departmental officer, you are going to reject my claim, you are going to confirm the demand. So you have issued this show cause notice on a premeditated mind. So similarly, in the matter of Joyous Blocks, the SCN was drafted, languaged in such a way that it was showing that the authority has already a premeditated mind. They have pre-decided the issue, and giving this is just a formality. There is no useful purpose in replying to this show cause notice. And therefore, Joyous Blocks and Panels Private Limited approached Calcutta High Court saying that, sir, please, this SCN should be quashed, or it should be drafted in such a way that a real opportunity is being given to me to reply to such show cause notice. So what is held in this particular matter, that Honorable Calcutta High Court, I could not reproduce the entire extract of the show cause notice in this PPT, but as per the SCN, it was observed by the Honorable Calcutta High Court that the SCN has been issued in the form of order. They have issued with a pre-decided mind, and therefore it is not accordingly show cause notice was set aside, and matter was remanded back to the proper officer to issue the SCN again in a proper language, in a proper manner. So why I discuss this issue, that whenever any taxpayer receives any such show cause notice wherein the language is drafted in such a way, or you know that the action they are going to take is because of certain guidelines or certain circular, they are going to take an action which is adverse against you. So in that case, you can directly challenge the show cause notice before the Honorable Jurisdictional High Court, saying that the show cause notice has been issued wrongly, violating the principles of natural justice, and the show cause notice must be issued in a correct manner. Moving to the last topic of the day, there is a recent circular that has been issued in December 2022. Just a month back, not even a month, in the last days of the December 22, wherein they have allowed filing the refund by unregistered persons, and they have given the procedure as to how an unregistered person can file a refund application. Before discussing this particular circular, the circular number is 188. It was issued on 27th of December 2022. Why this circular is issued, we need to understand that. So there are many cases, one such case is being handled by me only. There are many cases wherein, particularly in the case of construction sector, I'll give you an example. Anmol Gupta has approached XYZ company that I want to buy a flat in your under construction apartment. Since the flat was sold prior to obtaining completion certificate, GST is leviable on the same. Now, ABC Limited, the builder from whom Anmol has purchased the flat, they have taken a token money or an advance money from Anmol, let's say rupees 10 lakhs. Now they have to receive the remaining sum on the possession of the flat. Now, due to certain reason, maybe builder is not able to complete the flat, or Anmol has some other flat in mind, or anything due to any reason, the provision of such service gets cancelled. The flat gets cancelled by the builder or by the Anmol, and that 10 lakhs is to be refunded. Now the question arises that what will happen to the GST portion that Anmol has paid to the builder ABC Limited? Whether builder is liable to refund it back to Anmol and seek refund thereof from the government exchequer, or Anmol is liable to seek refund directly from the government exchequer. So I'll just sum up this circular in short, and then we'll discuss the entire circular in detail. So as per this circular, this says that whenever ABC Limited has the time to issue credit note. So what is the time limit to issue credit note? The time limit for issue of credit note for a particular financial year is till the 30th of November of next financial year. So if the ABC Limited has the time limit to issue credit note, what they will do is they will issue a GST credit note, wherein they will reverse the taxes on that 10 lakh rupees they have collected from Anmol, and they'll adjust those taxes that they have paid in advance to the government exchequer in their subsequent month's liability. But in those cases wherein the time limit to issue credit note has expired, so for example, in majority cases, in my case also, the flats are cancelled after a long time. They are not cancelled like in 6 months or 1 year. They are cancelled after a long time. So after 3-4 years, let's say the flat is cancelled. So in that case, the circular says that that Anmol Gupta as an unregistered person is eligible to file refund. Particular example, with this background in mind, we are going to discuss what are the instances because of which this circular was brought. Circular says that many instances have been brought to the notice of honorable government where the unregistered buyers who had entered into an agreement or contract with a builder for supply of services, construction of flats or building, and had paid the amount towards consideration for such service, either fully or partially, along with applicable tax, had to get the said contract agreement cancelled subsequently due to non-completion or delay in construction activity in time or any other reason. So same what I have discussed, my example, that Anmol has entered into an agreement with ABC Limited for supply of services of construction of flat and paid either the full amount in advance or the partial amount, token amount in advance, and now the flat gets cancelled subsequently due to non-completion on the part of the builder or delay in construction activity. Now, in number of such cases, the period of issuance of credit note on account of such cancellation of service under the provisions of section 34 may already have got expired by that time. So in case my flat is cancelled after 2 or 3 years, the time limit for issuance of credit note has expired. In such cases, the supplier may refund the amount to the buyer after deducting the amount of tax collected by him from the buyer, because the contractor ABC Limited will say that whatever GST I have collected from Anmol on 10 lakh rupees, I have paid it to the government exchequer because my time of supply has arisen on advances I have received from Anmol. Now, after 3 years, when I'm cancelling the flat, I don't have any option to either claim the refund because the time limit to claim refund is 2 years, and I do not have any option to adjust it by way of a credit note because that time limit has also expired. So I am not going to refund your GST amount because I have paid it to the government exchequer. So now what circular says, there is another instance also that circular states that similar situation may arise in cases of long-term insurance policies where premium for the entire period of term of policy is paid upfront along with applicable GST, and the policy is subsequently required to be terminated prematurely due to some reasons. In some cases, the time limit, again it says the same, that in some cases that the time limit for issuance of credit note under section 34 may have already expired, and therefore the insurance company will refund only the net amount after deducting the GST that they have already paid it to the government exchequer on advances. So now the circular says that as per section 54(8) clause E, wherein the unregistered person who has borne the incidence of tax comes forward to claim the refund, the amount should be paid to him and not to the consumer welfare fund. So section 54 subsection 8 talks about refunding the amount to the consumer welfare fund, as per which clause E states that wherever the incidence of tax has been borne by any other person, the amount will be deposited in a consumer welfare fund instead of refunding it back to the taxpayer. So circular categorically states that wherever the unregistered person comes forward to claim refund of any taxes for which incidence of tax has been borne by such unregistered taxpayer, incidence of tax का मतलब सरल भाषा में सर इतना सा होता है कि जिसने उन टैक्सेस की एक्चुअल अपने जेब से भुगतान किया हो. तो सर्विस प्रोवाइडर और सर्विस रिसीवर के रिलेशन में हमेशा सर्विस रिसीवर जो है वो सर्विस प्रोवाइडर को टैक्सेस पे करता है, क्योंकि हम इनडायरेक्ट टैक्स रिजीम में है. तो सर्विस रिसीवर सर्विस प्रोवाइडर को टैक्सेस पे करता है, सर्विस प्रोवाइडर एज इट इज सरकार को जमा करा देता है। तो ये सर्कुलर क्या बोलता है? सर्कुलर ये बोलता है कि क्लॉज ई को हम इस तरीके से इंटरप्रेट करेंगे कि अगर सर्विस रिसीवर comes forward to claim the refund, then it will not be credited to consumer welfare fund and it will be paid to him directly. अब उन्होंने ये वाली बात बोली कि अनरजिस्टर्ड पर्सन को इनेबल करने के लिए कि दैट दे कैन फाइल द रिफंड, देयर हैव बीन सर्टेन अमेंडमेंट्स मेड इन द लॉ। हम उन अमेंडमेंट्स को समझेंगे, हम प्रोसीजर को समझेंगे। व्हाट इज द प्रोसीजर फॉर क्लेमिंग रिफंड बाय अनरजिस्टर्ड पर्सन? अब क्वेश्चन ये आता है कि अनमोल गुप्ता ने जो बायर को पैसा दे दिया था 10 लाख रुपए पे जीएसटी, वो अनमोल गुप्ता कैसे डिपार्टमेंट से ले सकता है? तो सबसे पहले तो अनमोल गुप्ता को एक टेम्पररी रजिस्ट्रेशन नंबर लेना पड़ेगा कॉमन पोर्टल पे, अपना पैन नंबर यूज करके। स्टेट वो वाली सेलेक्ट करेगा जिस स्टेट में बायर है। तो फॉर एग्जांपल अनमोल गुप्ता इज सिचुएटेड इन गुड़गांव बट ही हैज परचेज्ड द फ्लैट इन नोएडा। So the state that Anmol Gupta will select while seeking temporary registration number will be Uttar Pradesh and not Haryana. Anmol Gupta is required to undergo Aadhaar authentication, which is given under Rule 10B. After that, Anmol Gupta has to enter a bank account in which Anmol Gupta wants to seek a refund of taxes that he has paid to the contractor and contractor has paid to the government. That bank account should be the one which is on the name of Anmol Gupta only. Anmol Gupta cannot say that I'll seek this refund in the bank account of my brother or my sister. And the bank account should be on the name of Anmol Gupta only. And further, the bank account should be linked to the PAN number of Anmol Gupta. Anmol Gupta has to file the refund in RFD 1 under the category refund for unregistered person. तो आप किसी और कैटेगरी में फाइल नहीं कर सकते, अनरजिस्टर्ड पर्सन को रिफंड फॉर अनरजिस्टर्ड पर्सन की कैटेगरी में फाइल करना है। स्टेटमेंट 8 एक इंसर्ट हुई है बहुत रिसेंटली दिसंबर 2022 में। वो स्टेटमेंट 8 जो है आपको अपलोड करनी है विद द रिक्विजिट डॉक्यूमेंट। स्टेटमेंट 8 में जो है अमेंडमेंट लाई गई है रिसेंटली। You have to upload a certificate that is issued by the supplier. सर्टिफिकेट जो क्लॉज के बी ऑफ रूल 89 में दिया गया है, वो सर्टिफिकेट आपको जो है सप्लायर का अपलोड करना है और आपको डॉक्यूमेंट्स अपलोड करने हैं टू प्रूव बर्डन ऑफ टैक्स हैज बीन बोर्न बाय मी। अब अनमोल गुप्ता क्या डॉक्यूमेंट्स ऐसे अपलोड करेगा टू प्रूव कि मैंने सप्लायर को पैसे दिए थे और बर्डन ऑफ टैक्स मेरी जेब से गया, मतलब जीएसटी इस पे मेरी जेब से गया। तो अनमोल गुप्ता सप्लायर का इनवॉइस दिखा सकता है जिसमें सप्लायर ने जीएसटी अनमोल गुप्ता से 10 लाख पे चार्ज किया। अगर कोई इनवॉइस इशू हुआ है तो, कोई टोकन अमाउंट, कोई रिसीट इशू हुई है तो। और उसके साथ साथ अनमोल गुप्ता अपनी बैंक स्टेटमेंट दिखा सकता है जिसपे अनमोल गुप्ता ने 10 लाख पे जीएसटी ऊपर से पे किया हो। तो these documents can be submitted by Anmol Gupta to prove that burden of tax has been borne by me. इनवॉइस अगर मान लीजिए आपका डिफरेंट सप्लायर्स का इनवॉइस है तो आपको सेपरेट एप्लीकेशन फाइल करनी है हर सप्लायर के लिए। मैं इसका एक एग्जांपल देता हूं। मान लीजिए अनमोल गुप्ता ने गुड़गांव में 3 फ्लैट्स बुक कराए, 3 डिफरेंट बिल्डर्स की सोसाइटीज में, अपार्टमेंट्स में, अपकमिंग प्रोजेक्ट्स में। तो अनमोल गुप्ता को अगर तीनों प्रोजेक्ट्स में कैंसिलेशन हुआ और तीनों प्रोजेक्ट्स में रिफंड चाहिए जीएसटी का, तो अनमोल गुप्ता को 3 रजिस्ट्रेशन नंबर जो है अप्लाई करने पड़ेंगे। अब मान लीजिए इसी एग्जांपल में अनमोल गुप्ता ने 2 बिल्डर्स के साथ गुड़गांव में एंटर किया अग्रीमेंट में कंस्ट्रक्शन सर्विसेज का और 1 नोएडा में किया, तो अनमोल गुप्ता को 2 रजिस्ट्रेशन गुड़गांव में और 1 रजिस्ट्रेशन नोएडा में अप्लाई करना पड़ेगा। अगर मान लीजिए आपका टाइम पीरियड क्रेडिट नोट इशू करने का लैप्स नहीं हुआ, तो जैसा मैंने आपसे पहले डिस्कस किया, व्हाट इज द इंटेंट ऑफ रिलीजिंग दिस सर्कुलर? द इंटेंट ऑफ रिलीजिंग दिस सर्कुलर इज दैट वेयर द टाइम पीरियड टू इशू क्रेडिट नोट हैज एक्सपायर्ड. So in case the time period is not expired, supplier is still entitled to issue credit note and refund taxes to the Anmol Gupta. But if the time period has lapsed, then only Anmol Gupta as an unregistered person can apply for refund. What is the time limit for claiming refund? अब इसमें क्वेश्चन आता है कि सर टाइम पीरियड एज पर द एक्सप्लेनेशन सेज कि अगर मैं सर्विस प्रोवाइडर के पर्सपेक्टिव से बात करूं तो जिस दिन पेमेंट ऑफ टैक्सेस है उसके 2 साल में लिया जा सकता है। अगर मैं अनरजिस्टर्ड पर्सन के पर्सपेक्टिव से बात करूं तो सेक्शन 54 की एक्सप्लेनेशन 2 बोलती है कि इफ अनरजिस्टर्ड पर्सन इज कमिंग फॉरवर्ड टू क्लेम रिफंड ऑफ टैक्सेस, देन इन दैट केस when the services is received by the unregistered person, from that date 2 years will be counted for the purposes of refund application. So keeping in mind, the circular says that clause G of explanation 2 to section 54 says that in case of unregistered person, in case of recipient, I would say not unregistered person, in case refund is claimed by recipient, then the relevant date from which 2 years will be counted will be the date of receipt of goods or services of both by such person. However, in the case of cancellation of long-term contract or agreement, for example, we discussed two issues, construction of flats or the long-term insurance policies. Since it is terminated before completion of any service, therefore, there is no date of receipt of service. तो आपका relevant date का clause क्या बोलता है कि अगर recipient refund फाइल कर रहा है तो जिस दिन उसको सर्विस मिलेगी उस दिन माना जाएगा कि उस दिन से 2 साल में वो रिफंड फाइल कर सकता है, टाइम लिमिट एज पर सेक्शन 54। लेकिन अगर मान लीजिए कोई लॉन्ग टर्म सर्विस प्रोवाइडिंग का एग्रीमेंट हुआ है और सर्विस प्रोवाइड होने से पहले ही वो टर्मिनेट हो गया, जो कंस्ट्रक्शन के केस में और लॉन्ग टर्म इंश्योरेंस पॉलिसीज के केस में होता है, देन देयर इज नो डेट ऑफ रिसीट ऑफ सर्विस एंड देयरफॉर it is stated by the circular that the date of issuance of letter of cancellation, तो सप्लायर ने जिस दिन भी, बिल्डर ने जिस दिन भी आपको एक लेटर इशू कर दिया कि इस दिन मैं आपका कैंसिलेशन कर रहा हूं, उस दिन से जो है 2 साल कैलकुलेट किए जाएंगे। लास्ट एक बहुत छोटी सी बात है कि अगर मान लीजिए ये कहता है कि अगर मान लीजिए आपका एक कंटिन्यूइंग प्रोजेक्ट था, जैसे एग्जांपल है आपने 17-18 में कुछ अमाउंट पे किया, 18-19 में कुछ अमाउंट पे किया, 19-20 में कुछ अमाउंट पे किया और 20-21 में जाके कैंसिलेशन हुआ, तो क्योंकि सप्लायर के पास 19-20 का टाइम पीरियड है क्रेडिट नोट इशू करने का, लेट्स से वो 30 नवंबर 2020 से पहले कैंसिल हुआ, तो वो 19-20 वाले आपके पेमेंट के अगेंस्ट क्रेडिट नोट इशू करके आपको रिफंड दे देगा। तो आप सिर्फ 17-18 और 18-19 वाली जो प्रोपोर्शनेट अमाउंट बचती है, जो बाकी बची अमाउंट है, सिर्फ उतने के लिए आप जो है रिफंड के लिए एलिजिबल है। सो दिस ब्रिंग्स टुडे सेशन टू अ क्लोज। वी हैव डिस्कस्ड 5 इश्यूज टुडे। पहला मुद्दा हमने जो डिस्कस किया वो डिटेंशन प्रोसीडिंग्स का डिस्कस किया, जिसमें पर पीस बेसिस पे जो है गुड्स मूव हो रहे थे। डिपार्टमेंट का कहना था कि क्वांटिटी के बेसिस पे करना चाहिए। ऑनरेबल गुजरात हाई कोर्ट ने उसको सेट असाइड किया। सेकंड जो मुद्दा हमने डिस्कस किया वो अगेन डिटेंशन का एक और मुद्दा हमने डिस्कस किया, जहां पे डिटेंशन प्रोसीडिंग्स बिल टू शिप टू मॉडल में हुए थे, ये बोल के कि जीएसटीआईएन नंबर जो है एसएससी का वो कोट नहीं करा हुआ जिसको शिपिंग हो रही है, तो उसके लिए एफएक्यूज कंसिडर किया ऑनरेबल इलाहाबाद हाई कोर्ट ने और बोला कि एज पर द एफएक्यूज शिपिंग जिसको हो रही है उसका जीएसटीएन मेंशन करना जरूरी नहीं है एंड देयरफॉर डिटेंशन ऑर्डर वाज सेट असाइड। थर्ड जो टॉपिक हमने डिस्कस किया वो ये डिस्कस किया कि अगर एक रॉन्गफुल कैंसिलेशन है बाय द डिपार्टमेंट तो उसके लिए आपको लेट फी पेंडिंग रिटर्न्स पे एसएससी इज नॉट लायबल टू पे सच लेट फी अंडर सेक्शन 47 सिंस सेक्शन 47 इज नॉट अट्रैक्टेड इन सच केसेस। फोर्थ टॉपिक जो हमने डिस्कस किया वो ये डिस्कस किया कि अगर एक एससीएन इशू होता है इन अ लैंग्वेज विच इज सिमिलर टू दैट ऑफ एन ऑर्डर विच शोज दैट द एससीएन हैज बीन इशूड विद अ प्री मेडिकेटेड माइंड विद अ प्री डिटरमिन्ड डिसीजन, then that SCN is liable to be set aside by invoking writ jurisdiction by the Honorable High Court। और जो फिफ्थ और लास्ट टॉपिक हमने आज का डिस्कस किया वो डिस्कस किया एक रीसेंट सर्कुलर व्हिच वाज रिलीज्ड ऑन 27th of December 2022 which addresses the areas wherein the time limit for issuing credit note as well as claiming refund by the service provider has lapsed and it is a continuing project wherein the services are not rendered, then in that case unregistered persons can also claim refund of taxes. That is all for today. Thank you so much to all the participants for devoting their time today to this session, and thank you team TAXO for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for a wonderful deliberation and giving us a detailed analysis on recent judicial pronouncements and circulars under indirect taxes. Now, we will have a quick Q&A session. If anyone wants to resolve any query, please let us know. So, meanwhile, we have a question from Amit Goenka ji, Vinod Kumar Sharma ji.
विनोद जी, आपने पूछा है कि क्या कोई तरीका है जिसमें अगर आपने 16(4) की कंप्लायंस नहीं करी विद इन टाइम लिमिट, आपने आईटीसी नहीं लिया है, तो is there any judgment where the constitutional validity of section 16(4) has been challenged? No sir, till now there is no such judgment. We are also waiting for such judgment. We have also some taxpayers where they have availed ITC after the time limit given in section 16.4. But sooner or later, we think that there may be some judgment that can come. मतलब कम से कम इनिशियल ईयर्स के लिए तो सर आनी चाहिए. तो लेट्स सी इफ समथिंग कम्स अप. Amit Goenka ji ask if in ASMT 10 issued by department for 17-18, it was mentioned that there is a difference of 0 rupees in 2A versus 3B. Taxpayer duly filed ASMT 11. Now department has issued SCN stating that since there is a difference of say 2 lakhs and to deposit 2 lakhs. Sir, in this case, you can now since the SCN has already been issued and if the amount is a big amount, then you can directly approach High Court saying that the assessment proceedings basis which this SCN has been issued had zero amount. They did not give any amount to us and therefore we could not file any reply, or even if we have filed any reply, we could not explain such difference and therefore SCN is issued wrongly. But if the amount is a small amount, say 2 lakhs, because of the cost of litigation, you just file a reply to that SCN saying that the assessment proceedings are itself wrong basis which this SCN has been issued. The assessment proceedings did not give me an opportunity to give you the reply for this 2 lakhs of difference. The assessment proceedings ने जो है सिर्फ 0 rupees का मेरे को difference दिया था, इसलिए मेरे को मौका ही नहीं मिला इसको जवाब देने का. Vinod ji again asked, circular number 183 of 2022 shall be applicable for financial year 1920 based on Karnataka High Court. Sir, मुझे एक बारी कर्नाटका हाई कोर्ट की जजमेंट और सर्कुलर को एक साथ पढ़ना पड़ेगा. आई एम सॉरी. आप मुझे पर्सनली मैसेज कर दीजिए सर, मैं आपको एक बारी ये स्टडी करके बताता हूँ.
There's another question from Vinod ji.
Vinod ji says, should 16.4 cases be taken to higher appellate authority? Sir, definitely you can take it to the higher appellate authority but I would tell you कि adjudicating authority, first appellate authority और second appellate authority जो कि tribunal है, बना नहीं है, बनने वाला है. All these authorities are the constitution of the law and therefore they do not have any right to go beyond the law. What you are seeking is going beyond the law. Section 16.4 says that you can take credit within a stipulated time period. You have taken credit after that time period. So this is a matter of only High Court, wherein High Court can only give you a relief in certain exceptional cases. For example, कोई genuine reason आ गया जिसमें आपने time limit तक नहीं ले पाए, या फिर इनिशियल ईयर्स में लॉ की अंडरस्टैंडिंग नहीं थी, ऐसे करके अगर आप जीतेंगे तो इसको सिर्फ हाई कोर्ट में ही जीत सकते हैं. उसके बिलो कोई भी अथॉरिटी के पास constitutionally they do not have the power that they can give you any relief going beyond section 16.4. Going beyond section 16.4 only it can be done by way of article 226 writ. तो अगर आप आर्टिकल 226 के रेट के थ्रू जाएंगे तो ही आपको हाई कोर्ट जो है वो रिलीफ दे सकता है, जिसमें वो आपका जो है आईटीसी आपको एक्सेप्शनल केसेस में अलाउ कर देगा कि बियॉन्ड 16.4 भी आप इशू वो अवेल कर सकते हो. Amit Goenka ji says that is there any judgment for payment within 180 days? No sir, अभी तक ऐसा कोई मैटर एस्केलेट ही नहीं हुआ है. जजमेंट जनरली हाई कोर्ट की आती है सर, ट्राइब्यूनल अभी बना नहीं है. लोअर अपीलेट अथॉरिटीज की जजमेंट ज्यादा कोर्ट होती नहीं है, तो हाई कोर्ट पे अभी तक कोई ऐसा मैटर एस्केलेट नहीं हुआ है जिसमें 180 डेज के बियॉन्ड किसी एसएससी ने टैक्स आईटीसी मतलब पेमेंट ना करी हो और आईटीसी ले लिया हो और उस पे वो हाई कोर्ट तक गया हो. कोई जनरली ऐसे जाता नहीं है सर, सिर्फ इंटरेस्ट की इम्प्लीकेशन आती है मेजोरिटी केसेस में, तो अभी तक कोई ऐसी जजमेंट नहीं है सर.
Vinod ji is appreciating our session.
Thank you Vinod ji.
So we hope we have resolved many of the queries. So with this, we have come to an end of today's wonderful session, and we hope you all found the session informative and insightful. I would like to thank CA Anmol Gupta ji for his valuable time and for sharing his wonderful insights with all of us. We, the team TAXO, thank you everyone for being part of the session and making it a successful one. Once again, yes, sir.
नागेश्वर राव मंचम जी ने हैंड रेज किया हुआ है. You can
okay.
to
so
ask
sorry.
One to one.
Yeah. Team can unmute.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Nageshwar ji, please ask your question.
Sir, Regarding chartered accountant certificate, in the case of not reflecting in 2A or 2B,
Yes, sir.
is it mandatory, sir? Because chartered accountants, our fraternity are refusing to sometimes give the certificate. There is no, any other alternative, sir?
Sir, the circular categorically states that where there is a difference of more than 5 lakh rupees, in that case, a certificate is to be issued by either a chartered accountant or a cost management accountant. So if chartered accountant will refuse, assessee will go to cost management accountant. But it is mandatory, sir. As per the circular, it is mandatory. An officer, the circulars are binding upon the officer. So officer, in case where there is a difference of more than 5 lakh rupees, the officer is not empowered to go beyond the circular and say that no, we'll not take the circular and we'll just see the invoices and basis that we'll allow the ITC. He will seek a circular from the chartered accountant.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. With this, we are ending our session. We'll meet in the next session soon. Thank you, everyone.